I believe that Kawhi Leonard is getting too much heat for this shit, right? Any player would have taken that shit. Like that shouldn't be on Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard, when he's negotiating a contract, and this is how it happens with all players who's negotiating deals. Now Kawhi signed on the dotted line, right? Pretty sure it was like, hey, we're gonna add this extra incentive. We can't max you out. We need to keep this money. This is how we're gonna do it. Kawhi is doing nothing else that nobody else in the league does for us when they sign their paperwork. Clippers need to be getting more heat about this than Kawhi Leonard does. Should Kawhi Leonard get some heat? Yes, but not as much as Lawrence Frank, Steve Ballmer, and Kawhi's agent. Because no player reads their entire contract when they sign it. I'm sorry.
Kendrick Perkins defends Kawhi Leonard. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
First of all, why are you snitching? No, why are you snitching? Well, who cares? If you, listen, do you know how much this Lemon Perfect bottle was? Probably 28 cents. This is what Steve Ballmer thinks of 28 million. He's like, oh, here you go. You want this? Here you go. He don't care. He don't care. Also, why are you snitching?
Who's snitching? Who's snitching? The reporter? The reporter's job is to snitch. Our job is to keep it quiet, right? Like Ballmer didn't tell. Kawhi didn't tell. So Pablo's doing what he's supposed to do. And he's doing an absolute great job. Shout him out.
No, Pablo ain't snitching. This is what it is. Investigation journalism. He's putting it out there. There's some stuff allegedly behind the scenes with Kawhi and a $28 million no-job sponsorship. So he pretty much got allegedly $28 million and didn't have to do anything with that tree admission company. So it is what it is, but it got to be pointed out there because you can't have people playing with the salary cap like that. Everything got to be an even playing field when it comes to all the teams in the NBA and how they're able to spend money. Shouts out to Pablo for exposing this alleged scam by Kawhi in that business.
For this investigation, right? Again, all of these things are allegedly. We were talking about Malik Beasley and all of his drama, and then it turned out to be allegedly, not be to not be as true as we know, and as you know, he is in a position where it looks like he's going to be able to possibly play again. If you would have asked people 2 months ago, it would have been a completely different story. So all I'm going to do is play both sides of it and say this allegedly. Now let's get into if this really did happen. It's happened before. Everybody knows the Joe Smith deal. Everybody knows what happened with Joe Smith. If you know the NBA, this is not the first time. This won't be the last time. This happens all the time. Now to this level, like some old 1990s illegal recruitment of college player level of like, we're going to give you $28 million in a duffel bag. You got this. This is some Blue Chips. Go and watch the movie Blue Chips.
Great movie.
Right?
Great. Except it's just in the NBA.
Yeah, except it's in the NBA. And yes, Ballmer does not care. He's one of the richest men in the world. But so was Paul Allen, right? Before he passed away. Paul Allen had all the money in the world. They would tell teams like, hey, we want picks, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, hey, we want to give you $500,000 in cash. It's like, we don't take cash. Because, they'll do cash considerations. Yeah. Portland was on a no cash because like Paul Allen doesn't need cash. So they're like, we don't need money, right? We need picks. We need valuation. So they've had this before. You still can't do that.
Yeah, again, Steve Ballmer, I believe he's the sixth richest person, valued at $100+ billion. So him, having this $28 million potential controversy, not really him per se, it's really involving that company and Kawhi Leonard, but by Steve and the Clippers kind of brokering that deal, introducing them to Kawhi. That's why you got him in the mix. And that interview he had with Ramona Shelburne, and he was kind of, a little off a little bit. He kind of kept it together, but he was stumbling up, just trying to prove that he had nothing to do with this. It wasn't illegal. That's a situation that had to do with Kawhi and that business that's allegedly scamming. So at the end of the day, people may do it, but it ain't right. Again, this ain't chess where you can just move things on the board and make it work for you. If you playing chess with these businesses and the NBA finds out, you can potentially lose draft picks. I don't know if it'll be enough for Steve Ballmer to have to sell the team if he's kind of, moving pieces around to make these fictitious deals up. So hopefully it's just allegedly, it's not true. But if it is true, they got a lot of explaining to do.
You still can't do it. But the players rarely get in trouble for it. Players don't get in trouble for it. That's all I'm saying. Players don't like, again, we don't know if this to be true. Like maybe he started a company and Kawhi was gonna do it and then they couldn't get the funding. I don't know.
If you want to pay Kawhi Leonard $28 extra million to
This is
sit there, good for you.
I would do it. I
Yeah,
would do it in a
Kawhi
heartbeat
playing
if I was
what?
Kawhi Leonard. What? I would do it in a heartbeat.
I would have made up a commercial about him and trees talking to each other where they don't actually talk. He's just hugging it. That way
Wait a
he don't
second.
have to say shit.
Wait a second.
Where's the
a good
integrity? What the
Oh,
Integrity? What? Professional sports?
Stop.
Integrity? No.
Allie.
This is survival. Wait. One last thing, Perk, and then I want you to go because Perk's going to bring us all together, right?
Well, duh.
But wait, really quickly. When you talk about players, they always like, oh, we'll give you a front office position. We're gonna give you this, and we'll make you an ambassador, right? Like this is what a lot of these players are offered, especially later in their career, right? Or will allow you to get like possible ownership. A lot of these things are promised to people. Michael Jordan was promised something. That's why when he left the Wizards, he went back to play. Was promised something. And when he retired, he didn't get it. So that's how the whole thing Wizard breakdown. So
Again, there's always some backdoor deals, but you can't make it look obvious. If you're going to be out there allegedly scamming, at least make it make sense. Kawhi Leonard could have easily did a commercial like Shannon Sharpe was saying, hugging a tree, act like you're talking to the tree. Do something. If you're going to hire Kawhi Leonard and pay him allegedly $28 million, at least put the content out there. I know that company was trying to get a deal with the Clippers to be on their jersey as a logo, but they worked out some $300+ million deal for them to be within the arena. So I guess they were trying to, move forward with that, with all the trees and the admission or whatever the case may be. But again, if you're going to do some illegal stuff, at least play it right. We don't know if Kawhi Leonard actually got paid that $28 million, but either way, it still looks fishy and they got some explaining to do if this is true.
players are often promised things, futures, a lot of futures. That happens all the time. The issue is this was a current thing to circumvent the cap, which changes it. So there's always these backdoor deals and agreed negotiations that happen all the time. Rarely is it found and reported on. This is not the first. It won't be the last. But if we're talking about the magnitude that they got caught potentially, yeah, that's next level.
It's insane.
I'm ready for Adam Silver. I'm like, let's see what Adam Silver is going to do with this one.
Perk, what do you got?
So two things. You want the medium picture or the big picture first?
Medium.
Okay.
Big. We all go big.
Right. So here's the thing. One, I believe that Kawhi Leonard is getting too much heat for this shit, right? Any player would have taken that shit. Like that shouldn't be on Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard, when he's negotiating a contract, and this is how it happens with all players who's negotiating deals. They have an agent in place who I believe is Uncle Dennis for Kawhi Leonard. I may be wrong, but I believe it's Uncle Dennis. Uncle Dennis he represents Kawhi Leonard. Okay? When you sign a contract extension or you sign with a new team, how many pages is that?
Lots.
Who on this, Richard, have you ever looked through your entire contract?
I can lie to you. I can lie to you and say yes.
You can lie. Okay. Janet, you know what? You might have. You might have. He
can't eat chicken without choking. He definitely read his whole contract.
He read his.
What?
I
don't even like reading.
Bro, I've never read my entire contract. That's why you have an agent in place, right? An agent find the things like, hey, we got the deal. Here's some of it, right? Here's the contract, but I got to go change paragraph such and such on page such and such because I don't like this, right? The agent job is to make sure, one, they protect you, and two, get you max amount of dollars, right? Like, you got to get your fucking bread. Now, Kawhi signed on the dotted line, right? Pretty sure it was like, hey, we're going to add this extra incentive. We can't max you out. We need to keep this money. This is how we're going to do it. Kawhi is doing nothing else that nobody else in the league does for us when they sign their paperwork.
Yeah, again, Kawhi Leonard obviously going to catch a lot of heat because he's in the mix. His company signed a deal to allegedly get 28 million from this other company that's a scam. So yeah, it's only him and that company. And then you throw the Clippers in the mix, Steve Ballmer. Why is Steve Ballmer taking a lot of heat? He shouldn't really be in the mix only because him and his team introduced Kawhi and this company. But other than that, he had nothing to do with it. But by him, owning the team, Kawhi Leonard being paid out the contract with the Clippers, and then having this $28 million deal in place with this company, I guess that's where you got to throw him in the mix. But again, Kawhi Leonard, he doesn't speak a lot. He's not really in the media. So people not really going to defend him like that. So if he has some allegations on scamming, of course, they're going to be talking about it. But unfortunately, he is going to catch a lot of heat because his name is on the dotted line.
All I'm saying is, again, look who's running the organization outside of Steve Ballmer. Here we go. Lawrence Frank once again. Lawrence Frank once again. Right? I've been on here. No one trusts Lawrence Frank. All of a sudden, Lawrence Frank, who's running the organization under Steve Ballmer, this comes out. Okay, cool. But the Clippers need to be getting more heat about this than Kawhi Leonard does. Okay, that's number one. Big picture. Allie, is no integrity no more. I tell my wife this all the time. Vanity is so green to the world. Nothing in this world, when you're being successful, and it goes to show you that billionaires cut side deals in whatever they do. Billionaires have under the table going on every single day. That's how they get ahead. When it comes down to even in our, when you talk about trades, right? Like when we talk about how a team stole a player and doing free agency, right? Agents cut side deals. Hey, I will get you such and such if you re-sign and max out this guy. Like, underhand deals happen all the time, not just in the sports world, but in America. No one has ever gotten ahead by being honest. You can't make me believe that. No one. It's always something, whether it's, I'm not saying they're cheating, I'm not saying they're doing nothing illegal, but you can get ahead by the relationships. People take for granted when they say, oh yeah, it's who you know, not what you know. Well, no, even when you look at but see, here goes some real right here. If you want to keep it a buck in the media landscape, a lot of personalities are represented by the top dogs.
Yeah, I get what Kendrick is saying. You really can't play it fair and win. There's a lot of side deals with these billionaires, so I get that point. But at the same time, if you're going to be out there doing some dirty work, you got to at least make sure you cover your tracks. No one like a Pablo Torre or anyone should be able to pull up some alleged stuff about you and this company and a $28 million no job. That should never be coming out. So if you don't, iron out your tracks correctly, you're going to have people that are going to expose you. This is a huge niche on YouTube, a lot of investigational type stuff, people trying to pull up certain things. Is this going on? Is this not going on? So again, shout out to Pablo for exposing it. And again, even though Kawhi Leonard possibly didn't do anything wrong, he was just going for the money. You got to be mindful. You can't go for everything. Not all money is good money. It could come back to bite you.
Top dogs, relationships matter, right? So it's not like, let's not everybody who got something to say, the Kawhi Leonard scandal. No, side deals go on all the time in the United States.
Really quickly, how many players agree to deals at 12:01? How many players?
That's been done 3 days ago.
Yes. How many players agree to deals at 12:01?
It been done 3 days ago.
And that's been for a decade, 10 years, 20 years.
All I'm saying is this, right? And I'm leaving it at this. Should Kawhi Leonard get some heat? Yes, but not as much as Lawrence Frank, Steve Ballmer, and Kawhi's agent. Because no player reads their entire contract when they sign it. I'm sorry. So you can't.
No. This is the part. We can't fault him for not doing his due diligence. We can say that is acceptable, but that is a part of his responsibility. if there's an extra $23 million in your contract, bro, from having $28 million, thank you, Alex. There's an extra $28 million in your contract, and you're gonna act like you don't know. I'll absolve him of that, but we can't fault him saying, well, he probably didn't read the contract. Yep. He knows that there's another $28 million. He knows that if he requests a trade, he ain't getting that money either. He knows.
That's bullshit though, RJ, because let me tell you why. That's bullshit. Let me explain why. Because not only your agent, most agents have some type of law degree. Am I right?
No. Now we're doing generalities.
Hold on. I'm just asking because I'm saying most agencies have their lawyer. That's why when you sign the contract, doesn't lawyer fees get taken out along with agent fees? Because lawyers look over your contract to protect you, so you don't have to do it. All I'm saying,
we're gonna agree to disagree. We're gonna agree
of it.
We're not disagreeing on that. We saying the same thing.
I agree with you, and I think, listen, if he gets a one lump sum, $28 million, that's the thing. If he's getting 1, 2, 3 million a year extra, I don't think he's noticing that. To be real, I don't think it's like, hey,
Yeah, at the end of the day, man, if you're Kawhi, you got to be careful out there. Technically, that's your agent's involvement. They should really know what's going on, not putting you in a bad situation. But there's just been some alleged stuff with Kawhi and his camp for many years now. So, again, that's why he's catching a lot of heat, because this isn't the first time there's been some controversies with Kawhi and his agent. So if you're Kawhi, if you're going to do some backhand stuff, and people in general, just make sure you iron out everything so it doesn't come back to bite you. Again, not all money is good money, and it can come back in many different ways. And we're seeing it now with the Clippers, Steve Ballmer, the business group, Kawhi, his team, and this alleged scam of a company. So we're going to see what happens moving forward with these allegations.